This is a podcast. All right, and we're recording and we're live. This is episode 211.5 of Podcastrophe. This is Scotty running it by himself. What it do, what it does. I don't exactly know what I'm going to talk about here today. I would do the live music intro for you guys, but I don't have it because Dick has that. So, we're just gonna fucking run it live. We're gonna run it live and we're gonna see how it goes. So come on in, sit on down because today we're talking about jack shit. We're talking about absolutely nothing. Usually my co-host Dick, which you can see is not here, would ask, how are you doing today, Scotty? And I'll touch on that. So I woke up this morning with a terrible fucking migraine. I get migraines a lot, way too fucking often. Hold on, crisp cherry Coke Zero break here. Excellence. I get migraines fairly often, so I woke up with a migraine today and honestly wasn't going to do the podcast because what is Scotty going to talk about? I don't know. That's the fun part. No clue what I'm going to talk about, but we figured we'd do it live. Dick was busy today, so unfortunately he couldn't be here with us, which is why I've titled this episode 211.5. It's a half episode with yours truly. Really, we're just gonna dive on into it. So, I kind of want to start this off with just talking about the state of things, right? Yeah, I've been doing this podcast now for over a year with Dick, and honestly, it's been an absolute blast. And we've talked about doing a lot, right? We've talked about doing merch. We've talked about having fun events. We've talked about taking the podcast mobile, and obviously we haven't done that, right? So the reality of it is that these things are really difficult to do. It takes time. It takes, funding. It takes effort. And, while we've put in the time and, we could secure the funding, the effort part's a little hard because life gets busy, and it's just hard to do stuff. So unfortunately, we haven't done as many things as we'd like. But we're working on it, and coming up here soon, there's going to be a change in the podcast because, Dick can expand more next week, but those of you who watch us or listen to us regularly, you'll know Dick is moving. So Dick is no longer going to be in the house, which means we will no longer be doing the podcast from the house. As a matter of fact, after next week will be our last live broadcast at Dick's house out in Mulberry. So I don't know what the podcast is going to look like after that, but it's going to change. It's going to be a little different. We may or may not have, a little bit of a time away as we figure out how things are going to evolve. But we're excited about it. We're looking forward to it. Hopefully we get to change a few things with the podcast. We may start doing it live from here. Obviously, I'm in my house. This is my game room. You can see some of my, let's see, right there, some of my nerd shit behind me over here. I've got my 2 cat towers, which there's actually a third cat tower behind me here as well. Because it's the cat's house as well, It's not just my house, so got to have the cats all set up. So we might do the podcast from here, if I've got the room, if I can get the equipment. We might do the podcast from wherever Dick's apartment's going to be. We might do the podcast from somewhere completely third party. We haven't quite decided that yet. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts on it, if you're looking forward to a new setup or not. I know this is going to be an exciting time for Dick, especially as he gets out of Mulberry, gets into Lafayette. Oh my goodness. Hi, Kiara. Saying it's her favorite Podcastrophe host and the hottest. That is so sweet of you. I don't know if I could agree with that. That is so very kind of you. It's so good to see you. How are you doing, girl? I hope you're doing good. I hope the fitting for the mask went really well. You feeling all right? Tell me how you're doing. You are actually my first viewer. I'm doing the episode by myself today. So as of right now, it's just a one-on-one. It's just you and me. So yeah, how's it going? Had to stay home from work today because I felt like shit, which I'm not very proud of. Radiation starts in 2 weeks. That's coming up really quickly. I know that that's probably a uneasy thing to go through, and I'm sure that that's, it's got its own scares, but you're going to do so amazing. I have nothing but faith in you. You are such a strong and badass woman. Honestly, I think it's all going to go super great, and you're going to come out of it doing better than ever. I bet that mask was hot. She said the mask went well, super fucking scary. The mask was hot. Uh, for those of you, I myself had never seen one before. For those of you who had never seen a radiation mask before, it looks like a giant like mesh mold that they just kind of put on you. And I don't know exactly how it works, or what. Maybe Kiara could expand on that. I don't know how it works or what that's like, but it seems scary to me. I actually kind of likened it to like Darth Vader getting his mask on, which is it's a frightening thing. So, and she handled it, of course, like a fucking champ. I was talking to her a little bit afterwards. So so far, seems like things are going really well. You're making progress and you're working towards it. Very proud of you, by the way. That's something I don't know if I could handle with Grace. You have an awesome support system behind you. Obviously, you've got the podcast men behind you. You've got the whole community of friends behind you, our whole community as well. Really wishing the best for you on that. Dick usually asks me, and this I think this is a good segue into this topic, right? He asks how I'm doing, and him and I usually talk about how things have been going lately, and I know it's a heavy topic, but the state of the world has really made things, it feels like it's untenable, right? It's hard to find happiness in things. The economy is in a bad way. We're in wars. The AI and data centers are eating up all of our natural resources. The world gets hotter. Winters get colder. It's tough, right? It's really tough out there. And something I've been doing lately, a lot of people who talk to me regularly probably realize that, like, I'm not present lately. And I kind of want to take this time as a solo podcast to address that. It's been difficult lately for me to act like I'm okay, and I am okay, all things considered. But I don't know if it's depression or anxiety or whatever it is, but I find myself at times just feeling defeated, and I would drink a lot, and I would do things no human should do, and I was just on this path of self-destruction. And I heard from my doctors recently that my liver wasn't doing too great. Not that it was failing or anything, but that I basically had hit a crossroads of I could keep doing what I was doing, or I could slow down and, get better, ultimately make a more quality of life for myself. And that was really hard for me to come to that crossroads, because drinking was kind of this crutch that I used, right? It was one of the only things that made me happy, was drinking alcohol and being not necessarily drunk, but being in a state of perpetual, you're just kind of in between sobriety and being drunk. And, you're right on the edge, right? You're right on the cusp. And after the doctor and I having a discussion and stuff, I tried for a while to get off of it. And then finally one day I woke up and it hit me, and I was like, this is not fun anymore. And I was spending a ton of money in an already bad economy, and, being an alcoholic like that for so long, it felt like it was the only way I knew how to be. So I did one of the only things that I'm really good at. And it's not a great thing to be good at, but I kind of started to disappear. And for those of you who know me well, or know me very well, there was a point where I kind of fell off the face of the earth for about 5 years. I had maybe 3 friends that would get to see me, 3 friends that would get to talk to me daily, and it wasn't a lot. And I was a ghost. And I realized I started doing that again. And so I'm an introvert by nature. It probably doesn't seem like it because I'm always super bubbly on the podcast. I'm always super bubbly and cheerful when I'm out and about and talking to people, but usually that's because I'm drinking. So without drinking and without becoming a ghost, I had to find a new way to be. So I started getting back to my roots. I started playing video games again. A lot more, in fact. I have a buddy of mine, Tyler, that him and I started playing games, and we started having fun. And I remembered what it was like to just kind of shut away the world. I remembered what it was like to just live in the moment and have fun and do that without drinking or drugs or anything else. And I started to slow down in life. And what I found was that happiness truly is in the little things. And while you can't control the wider world around you, you can control the things that are, the little things within your life. And what I mean by that is you can start going on walks for 10 or 15 minutes a day. You can sit by the pool with your friends and just read a book or listen to music or crack jokes at each other. You can cook food, even if it's terrible, and you burn the food and it's not good. And then you can laugh at yourself and you can throw the food away and go get some Burger King. Or, there are these little things you can do. I sit there on my front porch and just listen to the cars drive by and the wind and the leaves, and I listen to the sports stadium that's down the street from me and listen to people cheer as, they're playing baseball, and listen to the concerts. And I found this love and beauty in the simplicity of slowing down and starting to enjoy the little things, really appreciate the little things. And what I found was I was starting to find myself again. I was starting to find love and joy in the little things that I had lost. I was starting to remember who I was and why I do the things that I do. And yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff going on in the world, but there's a lot of great things too, There's this guy I found. I think he actually lives here in Indiana. But he has an Instagram account, and he talks about five things that are awesome, or 5 things that make him happy, and he makes a short reel about it every single day. It's like 5 things that just make him excited, and it's the little things, right? Where like you hit a string of lights and they're all green. Hell yeah, that rocks. Getting a nice thing of ice cream on a hot summer day. That fucking rocks, right? Opening up a pack of cards and it's just opening up like a crisp pack and pulling out like a sweet card. That fucking rocks. So like these little things of like, and these little things he had were such small things. And he found love and joy and simplicity in it. And he said it helped him find his joy in life again. And so while I've pulled back a lot from going out, because all I would do for years is go out to the bars and go out to the bars and go out to the bars. I stopped doing that. And I started playing my video games more and spending time with my cats and being an introvert, but being a happy introvert. I've been catching up on my TV shows. I've been watching a whole lot of Star Wars. Believe it or not, there's Star Wars shows that I didn't catch up on. And I love it. And it's really helped me find a reason to wake up in the morning. And that's something I was starting to lose, was why do I get up and do the things I do every day? And it's because there are little things out there that mean more, I think, than the big things that make life worth living. So, to anybody out there who's struggling with that kind of stuff, I see you. And I hope that you can start to find love in the little things. I hope you can appreciate the joy and simplicity that life has to offer. You may not be rich. You may not be in good health. I'm neither. You may not have a ton of friends or whatever it is. My challenge to you is to wake up every day and look at the small things, the little things that make you happy and make you go, hell yeah. Because it's not just for, the things that make a man go, hell yeah. It's what are the things that make people go, hell yeah. Those are the little things you should look for and the things you should enjoy. That's my challenge to you, is to try and do that, to make a better life for yourself. Don't focus on all the negative. I got some comments here. So Kira was talking about her mask, her radiation mask. She said it's like multiple plastic. So it's a little hot, so it can mold exactly to your face. They stretch it onto you, and then you sit there for 30 to 45 minutes while it molds to your face. That sounds insane. That sounds crazy. And if I knew how to work OBS better, I would show you guys what a radiation mask looks like. But since I don't know how to do that yet, even though I'm tech savvy, I'm software illiterate. So go out and look at what a radiation mask looks like. That's what Kiara had to get fitted for. She said, the world is so depressing. I can only find happiness in the people I love. Unfortunately, as much as I want to protest, our people in government, even the ones who call out the fucked up stuff, have no action. So it's just a very weird place to be. What do you do? That's a great question. So Kiara asked, what do you do for things like that? And it's, it's kind of like I just said, you really just learn to enjoy the little things. Talk to your friends. Ask them how they're doing. Ask them how their day is. Something, especially for your guy friends. Love you, Dick. Love you so much, buddy. I'm kind of just ranting and rambling here, but you're going to listen to this and be like, this dude doesn't have a single coherent thought. My headache medicine makes me really cloudy and foggy, so I'm all over the fucking place. But thanks for showing up. Thanks for being here, pal. I'm just kind of moving forward with it. For your guy friends, get them flowers. Give one of your friends flowers and just see the reaction. You ever given another man flowers? And I don't mean it in like a romantic way or anything like that, but it's, the most depressing thing is men usually receive their first flowers at their funeral. That's so sad. I think that's tragic. And you will never see a man's face light up more, even if it lights up in embarrassment. His cheeks are all rosy and he's flushed. Give that man some flowers. Go to a nice, and you could go to like Walmart or Kroger or whatever, but go to like a nice flower shop. Buy even just one flower, or buy like a small little bouquet or something. Give that man some flowers. Watch his whole fucking face light up, right? Watch him just be super happy. Tell people you love them. Kiara was absolutely right. Like, you find happiness in the people you love. Tell people you love them more. I tell my friends, my family, that I love them all the time. And it doesn't have to be romantic. Just tell people you love them. There's a guy I follow. His name, or what his page is John Breaks Bad News. And John gets paid by people to go break bad news to other people. And sometimes he is asked to keep the person paying him anonymous, or, to be like, hey, I would go to John Breaks Bad News and be like, can you go tell Dick that, fuck you for leaving me stranded for the podcast. You've got yours coming. And so John would go break the bad news to Dick. I would give John Dick's phone number and stuff. He'd break the bad news. And I could say, you could tell him it's from Scotty, or you could keep it anonymous. But at the end, what John always does for every single phone call he's on, he goes, All right, well, I love you. And he won't get off the phone unless the person hangs up first or they say it back, because he'll always say it back. I love that. Go out and tell people you love them. Tell random people you love them. Hold the door for somebody and give them a compliment, and then follow the compliment by like, "I love you." Don't be weird about it because that can be super weird, but just when you can find a way to interject it in there, interject it and tell people you love them more. Um, it means a lot for you to compliment people, support people. This is a great. Kira said, if you ever need someone to just sit with you, I will watch you play your nerdy video games if that's all you need. Sometimes that's all you need. You just need somebody to sit there and be with you. It doesn't have to be romantic. It doesn't have to be like even reciprocal, right? Like you're doing something for someone else, right? They don't have to do anything for you. That is your form of giving. Being with someone in presence can make or break a person's day, can save someone's life. It's remarkable how we live in a world of interconnectivity, and arguably the world has never been more alone. They talk about the male loneliness epidemic. I think men mostly did that to themselves, but what they don't talk about is the human loneliness epidemic. It's not just men who are lonely, it's women too. It's everybody. Everyone's super lonely and depressed and anxious and morbid. And it's because in a day and an age where like this, we're all super well connected, we've never been more apart. Shit like this. It makes us, there's the illusion of choice and us being closer. And the honest truth is we've never been more apart. So be with people. Be with people and tell them you love them, tell them you appreciate them and you enjoy them. The world is a depressing place, but it doesn't have to be, right? It another thing. So Kira had said because the world's so depressing. She was like, we feel hopeless and helpless, and it's like, what can we do? Well, one, you can voice your opinion. You can go to protests and you can do things like that. And if you don't have the ability to, or if you're nervous to, something I've tried doing lately is letting go. And I'm not saying give up. Don't do that. Don't ever give up. But letting go in the sense of let all your anger and the hate, the poison, the negativity, let it go through you, let it wash over you, and then let it go away. Take a deep breath and just let it the fuck go. Don't be bitter. Don't be angry. Stop trying to one-up people who hurt you. Just let it and let them go. And protect your happiness. Protect the people next to you. It doesn't seem like that does a lot, but the more you protect the person next to you and they protect the person next to them and so on and so forth, suddenly we all protect each other. It takes a community, right? It takes a village. Look out for yourself, but look out for others. And I think that's really going to help. I think that is how you combat all the negativity and the depression in the world, is slowly getting people to realize that they're not alone, that they don't have to hold all this negativity and all this hate. When you meet that negativity and hate, don't meet it with the same force, because an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. That's what happens when you get two people who hate each other and who loathe each other and who try to fight each other with this poison and this negativity. Instead, just try to inflict change through compassion and love. Now, I'm not saying that, there's not a time and a place. Sometimes somebody does something or says something, and yeah, they deserve to be corrected through a more aggressive means, but that's not always the case. That should always be your last resort. Just try to heal the world through love and kindness and see if you can slowly foster that. I think that's going to make the world a better place. You know what else makes the world a better place, folks, is Star Wars. And since I'm by myself here, I'm going to go on this rant. I think Star Wars is fucking fantastic. I think it's also perhaps one of the saddest fucking stories I've ever in my life read or watched. Anakin Skywalker's just a depressing bastard. He really is. He's a great example, too, of what we've been talking about on this episode of just like how love can turn to greed and hate, and it can just poison a person. There is such a thing as having enough. You don't need everything. So start to be happy with the things that you have. Appreciate the little things. Appreciate the things that you have. Greed's a sickening thing, right? Greed, gluttony. Corinne, what's up, girl? I'm just kind of yapping. I'm talking about absolutely nothing, so don't mind me. Just talking about the state of the world and how hopefully we could change the state of the world through maybe not an eye for an eye anymore. I'm tired of seeing all the, I don't know, it's all the violence and all the hate. My Google News is constantly full of stories of the next AI data center, the last bomb we dropped, the next bomb we're going to drop, the laws that get passed in spite and anger. It's just tiring. It's so tiring. And there are things you can do to distract from it. There are things you could do to inflict change, but there's not a lot you could ever do to, I think, really change it. I'm not saying to like try nothing, but learn when enough is enough. And when you got to start worrying about, it's great to worry about other people, but you can't pour from an empty cup. So you got to take care of yourself. Coke Zero cherry break. God damn it. That's crisp. This right here, hashtag sponsor, hashtag ad. That is one of the things that makes me fucking happy and say hell yeah. The sound of popping open a crisp Coke Zero cherry can and taking a big old cold slurp. That's what makes life worth living right there. That's what it's all fucking about. Chewbacca, come over and say hi. Come here. Mibuki. He's probably not going to do it, but seeing if we can get a guest on this show. It's been a weird episode for me. It's been a lot of ranting, and I'm really just venting. Venting about nothing and everything. Into the stark open void and the contrast of absolute fucking despair. I think, mayhaps, I'm going to go do one of the things that I said makes me happy, and I'm going to... I think I'm going to play a game or read a book. I'm going to spend time with this demon down here that you all can't see. My boy, my sweet cheese. Chewbacca, it's my cat. One of my cats. I'm going to go soak up the sun and appreciate that I'm alive today, even though my head feels like a log split in two and I feel like I want to die. Metaphorically, of course. Meta, Facebook, don't grind us for that. Well, yeah, I'm going to go stare at the sun, and I'm going to go get some UV rays and just sit on my porch, and I'm going to read a book. I bought the Horus Heresy, which I'm really excited about. For those of you who don't know what it is, look it up. And I'm maybe going to play a video game. I'm going to cook some dinner, I might go get Burger King for the second day in a row. I haven't quite decided yet, but for those of you who stopped in and commented and watched even just a few minutes of this 30-minute rant of mine, thank you so very much. It means the world to me. I'm still kind of new to doing these things by myself, so, I might do this again sometime. This has actually been kind of enjoyable to yap and, express my thoughts into the vast nothingness. So, thank you. If you enjoy watching us or listening to us at all, please like, subscribe, tell your friends, share our content. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, Spotify, really wherever podcasts are streamed or sold. You can watch our content on YouTube. Dick uploads the YouTube videos. Go watch our content on YouTube. And really just continue being the wonderful human beings you are. Doing great. Hey, Pod Daddy Nate, thank you. I'm kind of at the end here. I've just been ranting for 30 minutes, but I'm giving it all she's got, Captain. Giving it all she's got, sir. I'm really trying here. So it's been a unique journey. It's been a fun time trying to do this alone. It's hard, man. I have a lot of appreciation for you and for Dick and Brandon and everybody who's ever tried to do an episode by themselves. It's tough. You don't have anyone to bounce off of it. So you really just got to be the life of the party. That's difficult, man. So I'm looking forward to doing this again. I'm looking forward to, I don't know, upping the skills and development. Solo cast isn't an easy beat, man. You're absolutely right. Solo cast is tough. So you really got to just keep going. And I found that I've rambled. If I go back and listen to this, which I'm definitely going to do, I'm probably going to find that I had a plan and then jumped incoherently through 12 different hoops and said the same thing 12 times. But that's how I'm going to get development in the wings, right? That's how I'm going to continue to do better with this. So I have a mass appreciation at this point for anybody who does a solo cast. You're a god. You're an absolute ace, a beast of a human being. I don't know if I could ever do it. Or I should say I didn't think I could do it, and here I am. I've been going for 33 minutes now and just kind of solo ranting and rambling. That's all right, man. That's what it's about. You just got to push through sometimes and get the content out there, and then you refine the content through repetition. Always genuine, man. It could never be anything else. So this has been a very fun experience. This has been a fun solo experiment. I think we're going to do more of these. So I'm going to talk to Dick, and I'm going to encourage him and I to do maybe little like 15 to 30 minute, solo beats. Maybe, every once in a while that's just his perspective or my perspective, and we kind of mix things up a little bit, and you get a little bit of each co-host by themselves, and then you'll get the boys together, so to speak. So next week, for anybody still listening, still watching, next week, Dick and I are going to be doing the last episode of Podcastrophe out of his house in Mulberry. So please join us for that. It's going to be a exquisitely wonderful good time. And we're going to talk about the state of Podcastrophe going forward. You're finally going to have the gentlemen back together again after a few long weeks. Dick, everybody, Dick's going to be hosting by himself from now on. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Dick, I'm glad you keep popping in for these, man, and seeing me kind of drag myself along here like a dead horse. You and I, Dick, definitely have to talk about solo cast, because it's tough, man. It's tough. So, sorry, I can't read the comments anymore. My ability to read comments is gone. So thank you all so much for joining. This has been fantastic. I'm going to go take more headache medicine. I'm going to soak up some UV rays, and I'm going to eat some food. Don't interrupt dinner with your family. Also, hello, family. I hope you're all doing very well. Dick, I hope you're having a great time with family. That's why Dick hasn't been here this week, by the way, folks. Said he can't even hear me. Well, respectfully, go fuck yourself, Dick. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for coming by and commenting. Like I said, look us up on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, Spotify. You can watch these live streams, which we upload to YouTube. Please go over there and watch us if you missed it. And like the host would say, make every day a big dick day. Thank you, everyone.